Hey there, welcome to another edition of What Barrie's Talking About from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakeley. On this week's program, the Barrie Chamber of Commerce enters the quest to end homelessness, teaming up with other chambers in the search for answers and guidance for their communities. First day of fall is Monday. We look back at the summer and get a hint of what fall has in store. Big Brothers Big Sisters hoping you'll help turn the town teal in a new campaign. The Barrie Junior Sharks women's hockey team off to another great start. We meet the coach and a couple of players. And if you're into gaming, you'll be into Game On After Dark, happening this weekend in Barrie. We get the conversation started after this. Barrie Mayor Alex Nuttall wasted no time last week after declaring a state of emergency due to the homeless situation in the city in getting help for those encamped along Mulcaster Street, those who wanted it, and getting the others to move along. The Barrie Chamber of Commerce looking in on all of this, wondering about the impact on businesses in the city and those that may be thinking of locating here, wanting to help as the city charts a new course on homelessness. Social issues, it says, are also business issues. So it's reaching out to the business community with a survey to explore the economic and social costs involved here and how they might be addressed effectively. Chamber CEO Paul Markle is with Barrie 360's Ian McLennan.
Now, the Chamber locally here is supporting the City of Barrie's decision to declare state of emergency to address encampments. Why is the Chamber in favor of that move?
It's a human issue, and businesses are operated by humans, and unfortunately, when these kinds of issues become more and more prevalent in our community, it has an impact on business. And we have agencies that are working hard. The county, the city, Busby, John Howard. They're all doing great work. And the role of the chamber is to advocate for business, and not to be without compassion, because we certainly are. We agree that this is the right course of action at the right time in order to make sure that our community is resilient and strong, and that it continues to be strong, and that Barrie ultimately becomes, the economy becomes stronger. And that's really the why social issues are really becoming more and more business issues, and why we're commenting on this. Not in how to fix the issue, in the specifics of how to treat somebody's mental illness, but on the mechanics that go in behind how government supports this, and how our community and our residents can support this as well. And that's what we're focused on.
And the Chamber, in a media release, identified, as it was put, substantive action by all parties being limited on areas of homelessness, mental health, addictions, and community safety. So it seems like the Chamber is saying it doesn't matter what party you belong to or what level of government, something more needs to be done? Yeah,
I think everyone has been doing what they think is the right thing to do, and quite often, we kind of get stagnant and we get stuck in inaction, and that's really what we're calling for. And when the city comes out with a declaration like this, it's not just the mayor, it's council. It's an action, much like in May of 2023. And again, everyone's going to have a different opinion on that. But when the mayor and council decided to take some action with regards to panhandling, and that was substantive. That was something that they did, and look what happened. It started some great conversations, and it really started moving the conversation in the right direction. Has it resulted in the results that I think we were looking for? Well, no, and I think that's why this next step is important, because it actually gives the city a bit of power that it doesn't normally have with regards to social services, and it obviously gets some attention, and hopefully that wakes up our government to put the dollars and the support in behind it.
What has the Chamber heard from businesses, specifically in the downtown, though, because that seems to be the biggest gathering point? And are you concerned, though, that the state of emergency puts a black eye on Barrie at all, or have you heard anything from, when we talk about investment, the mayor's been fielding calls across the country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the bigger black eye is when you don't do anything about it. I think the attention that we're getting is because we've taken some action on this, and it's unique. The only other community in Ontario that has a state of emergency is Belleville, and they did that because of opioid deaths, and that's still in place. and it's helped them to get some help to the people that need it there. It's funny, the common thought is that the majority of this is in a downtown core, but really from some surveying, and we're going to put a survey out today asking for some feedback from our businesses, is that in fact from the previous surveys that we have, and this is amongst about 15 cities in Ontario of the same size as Barrie, 75% of the housing and encampments are not in the downtown core. They're actually throughout the city, and I think when you have 20 encampments, if you're walking in the downtown, I don't see 20 encampments. I see one, which has now been cleared up, and most of those people have taken help. The other ones are hidden, and we've got encampments as far north as in Midhurst. So this is pervasive. It's not just in the downtown, and I think that's a misnomer. So we need to redress this in a much larger way. So I would say to anybody that's looking at Barrie as a place to come and invest and to live, that we're a city that takes action and that actually is working hard to make this an even better place to live.
Now, about a year ago, the Barrie Chamber, along with chambers in Peterborough, Kawarthas, St. Thomas, formed a social issues working group. You've got about 17 chambers on board. Social issues as business issues, mid-sized cities like Barrie. What does that mean, and what's been happening?
Well, again, in 2023, the chamber supported the mayor's decision on the panhandling issue and a few others, and that wasn't necessarily a popular position to take even amongst chambers, and it got some attention from the Ontario Chamber. But what's interesting is since then, the Ontario Chamber had a few meetings, roundtables with Minister Tibolo, and as that evolved, it became more and more apparent that there's other communities that were facing the same issue, and as a result, executives like myself and chambers formed this working group in order to address these specific concerns, with respect from developing policy and in writing policy to address the systematic issues that are that create this problem, and that's really where our strength is. There's 60,000 businesses in Ontario, and when you can start putting pressure of 60,000 businesses in behind initiatives, and then that's when you start to see some action. And even on the federal level, last year in 2024, we co-authored a policy with the Victoria Chamber on addressing some of the issues that are happening with housing on military bases. And as a result, we've seen some action from the federal government giving the military housing funds so that they can actually start to build. And that pulls housing and people out of our communities that are there because there's no place for them to go on the bases, and opens up housing. So those are some of the in-behind things that they're not sexy, but at the same time, they really make a difference down the line.
What does the chamber do moving forward in terms of addressing this from a business standpoint? Because we can all have compassion, but we can't have chaos either.
No, we can't. But I think if you're going to ask government to make decisions, the decisions have to be made from a fact-based perspective. So the survey that we're going to put out is one small part of that in calculating and pulling in some information that it is not normally surveyed, and asking questions of business owners in the city, not just in the downtown core, what the impact has been, so that we can take a look at how much money is being spent there. And again, when you can put dollars and cents in front of government, then hopefully they reallocate dollars. And as the mayor said, this isn't a funding problem, this is an allocation problem. And that's what we're hoping to give more informed information to the government so that they can make the right decisions. I don't know. Success, I think, looks to me like more and more people taking the opportunities that are given to them. And I don't think we're going to get to all of them. I think we're going to probably get 50% to come in very quickly and accept the help that's there. And then there's going to be a certain portion that are going to be, it's a much harder road for them. But you have to start somewhere. My dad always said that the hardest part of getting a room painted is to get the lid off the can. And I think we're starting to pry the lid off a little bit.
This is what Barrie's talking about from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakeley, sitting on the waterfront for the first time in a while, because we used to do this on a regular basis with David Phillips, climatologist extraordinaire, the guy who lets us know how the seasons are going to unfold from one to the next, and you pegged the summer pretty well. It was hot.
It was, Dan. It was really hot in many ways. It wasn't the record hot, because when you average all the highs and the lows, it came out to be, maybe 1.5 1.5 to 2 degrees warmer than normal. That's a lot. I mean, you would know, you would feel a half a degree. So 2.5 degrees is quite something. But when you dig down into that, I think that summer came later and left early. So there were 55 days in there between the 21st of June to the middle of August that almost, it just was a scorcher. There were more days above 30 than not. And when I look at the numbers, I just shook my head. It takes me a lot to shake my head. I've been in the business too long.
Yeah.
And we ended up in Barrie with 27 days where the temperature got above 30. We normally, for the entire year, would get 7 days, 7 or 8 days. So we had 27, and yet, Dan, there were a few of those days that got to 29.5, 29.9. So it didn't make that
So
threshold.
close.
So close, but no cigar, you know?
Yeah.
And so that would have been another maybe 6 of those days. So it could have been above 30. But what was most shocking to me is that in Barrie, we had more days above 30 than Toronto. I have never, ever seen that before. My gosh, we pride ourselves in being, it's warm, but it's not hot. Well, Toronto had a lot of smoke and haze, and so it kept the temperatures below 30. The other thing, when you dig down into those days above 30, there were 3 days where the temperature got to 35 or above. We normally get 1 every 10 years. We had 3 of them.
So it was an extraordinary summer.
Oh, temperature-wise it was. Precipitation was the common denominator throughout the whole summer. It was dry. We ended up with about half the amount of rainfall that we have. And when it's warmer like that, you need more precipitation, not less. So there's a lot of stress. So all those complaints and by farmers and gardeners in spring about too wet, too dry, hey, they were blessing that, not cursing it in the summer, because it really helped them get by. There were still a lot of issues with that, but certainly it was the summer of summers, and my gosh, water temperatures warm. People didn't matter when you took your holidays, it was pretty good, and so my sense is, boy, people would say if you could bottle it, you'd have it every year. But for some people, elderly people, health-related issues, it just was maybe too much, and certainly we could have dealt with more precipitation, because we saw the landscape of Barrie look pretty ugly at times, with it sort of almost like Rice Krispies walking on it, snap, crackle, and pop.
Yep,
it was pretty drab.
We're sitting here mid-September. It's the mid-20s. It's kind of like the end of June temperature-wise. Last week it was kind of a hint of fall.
Yes.
We going to see this kind of back and forth for a while, or what are you seeing in your crystal ball?
Well, the last kind of summery day that we had was, I think, August the 16th. Then fall arrived. People were convinced. We had temperatures that certainly we didn't get near what we had during the summer. It was almost as if nature was exhausted giving us all that warm temperatures, and the only thing that's carried on is the lack of precipitation, which is kind of concerning. But it's back and forth and up and down is something that usually is a characteristic of the fall. You're getting summer wanting to hold on, and wintry like weather getting a foothold. So any kind of good days now, they feel like summer, but really, no, they're summery-like. But summer, I think, a day above 30, for example, that character of summer, I think it's hard to see that coming. We could see days today could be 27 degrees, which would be certainly about 9 or 10 degrees warmer than it should be for this time of the year. So those are bonuses, but then we don't, and it's free energy time. I always think, am I going to save money from this weather or not? You're not using your heat or your air conditioning. You shouldn't be. Open that window, breathe that air. There's no smoke in the air. I mean, as they say in Newfoundland, it's good to be alive when you're dealing with weather like that, you see. So, yes, I think the variability is always the issue in the fall. And then the other thing, too, is you probably already heard me say what the fall is going to be. I'm going to hint at it and then tell you boldly what it's going to be. But it certainly looks like it's going to be milder. It's going to, as they say, more summer-like than winter-like. And, we sometimes give fall a short change. We think we go from sweat to slush. No. Fall is my favorite time of the year. I sometimes think it's shorter than it should be. I wish it was as long as our winters were, but hey, that's the very nature of it. But it is a good time. It's just hard to imagine with no hurricanes occurring this year, no wild windstorms, just boring, monotonous, great weather. I mean, day after day. Hey, that will come to a change. And the thing is, what I always have to remind people, when they hear warmer than normal, it's not as if July is coming back. This is fall warmth. It's sort of like if we took a temperature in October, the average temperature in October, what I would call normal October temperature, is 6 degrees colder than average temperature in September. So we're losing it, but it's too much to expect it to come because the sun is not as long. I mean, we're losing 3 minutes a day from the sunshine. You can tell when you're commuting, gee, it's a little darker going this morning to work. And that's the very nature. The angle of the sun is much lower, so it has to come through much more atmosphere, so it's not a direct kind of warmth. So all of those things are saying, hey, it's too much to expect a 30-degree temperature to come back, but certainly 20, room temperature. What could be wrong with room temperature? And so that's what we see. And Dan, it is what's going to continue. We think the models seem to suggest, not every day, it's not like that, it's not, but the personality, the character, the nature of the fall looks like it's going to be warmer than normal, warmer than it would normally be that month in that season. And it's going right through to November, we think. Now, hey, will there be frost on the pumpkin? Yes. Will there be snow before Remembrance Day? Maybe, likely. We don't always get it that way, but we typically in Barrie get frost on average about October the 6th. We've had our first touch of frost. We certainly get it in October, but the snow could come later. Like last year, we didn't get the first permanent snow cover until near the end of November. And then our friends in Bracebridge got buried in 140 centimeters of snow on the last 2 days. So, hey, it's always around the corner to bite you in the butt. But my gosh, there's a lot of great enjoyable weather. Look at the people out today. They're walking with shorts on. They've got their summer gear on and their friendly moods. They've got smiles on. They're not worried about politics or anything. They're just enjoying the weather.
At this point, winter is looking...
Well, a good point. I think that if we can remember 2 years ago, that was the no winter. And then we remember last year the first one was more like, as I say, Vancouver. It was like an El Nino, the warmer water in the Pacific. So it gave us, in fact, no days below minus 20. And, normally we'd have a dozen of those. We had snowfall that was maybe half of what it normally would be. But last year was more of a La Nina. This is the colder water. But it wasn't a tough La Nina. It's not like the La Ninas of our youth, which were always clearly longer, tougher, challenging, and we know why we live in the second coldest country in the world and the snowiest country in the world and so La Nina, and those were always very important to us to have a sense of what the winter season was going to be like. So it was El Nino. It wasn't a guarantee. I think this winter it looks like La Nina, but a weaker La Nina. So my fearless forecast, and of course, the farther you look out, the more inaccurate I am. So we have to come back here on the first day of winter, and then I'll nail it for you. But in the meantime, I could say that, hey, we're going to certainly feel the effects of winter before we get to the first day of winter. But my sense is it will be kind of more like a carbon copy of last year. But don't fear. It doesn't mean an ice storm. It doesn't mean the lake snow engine's going to get turned on because the water is not quite as warm as it was the last 2 years. So my sense is that there will be clearly some effects of it, but it won't be one that will make it a memorable kind of a winter this year. And the other aspect of that so important is not just where it used to be La Nina, El Nino. People want to know, what is it? Which one is it? And so that they knew that they had a good chance of getting the forecast right. But the other thing that's affected us is climate change. Climate change has really begun to bite deep and hard. We've talked about that before, Dan, and it is clearly, it's not a futuristic. It's a here and now. It's not fake news. It's real. And it does affect the character of the El Nino and La Nina. When you have El Nino, it's almost like saying cancel winter. Because you've got El Nino and you've got a warmer winter because of climate change. That's why it's like Vancouver. But if it's La Nina, it means it's not maybe as brutal as it would have been in the past. Then there's also the issue of variability, wild swings, and that's why there'll always be a job for a weather person because you could never know. And thank goodness, I often say, it would be sad in this country if we could ever forecast the weather perfectly, because it would take the fun out of being Canadian.
David, always good talking to you. Thank you so much. And we will compare notes in December and then figure out winter from there.
Great. Okay, Dan.
Turning the town teal this month in support of Big Brothers Big Sisters, Barrie 360's Julius Hearn gets the lowdown from Big Brother Big Sisters Brie Lefevre.
For those who don't know, just kind of give us the basics of Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
Yes, September is National Big Brothers Big Sisters Month. So all across Canada, all of our agencies celebrate and just really work to engage our communities and say thanks, connect with our mentors. And this year, our region is celebrating a new campaign called Turn the Town Teal. So we have been blessed to have several businesses and lots of other people through our communities in both Orillia, Barrie, and Midland join our three agencies of Barrie and District, Orillia and District, and North Simcoe, celebrating everything that we've done through our entire region, which is a really exciting and brand new campaign that we've rolled out for this entire month of September.
So what goes on with this campaign specifically? I know you have a lot of businesses involved.
Yes, we had a great give back day with Harvey's on September 3rd. So they hosted lunch for us, and part of the proceeds from the locations in Innisfil, Orillia, Gravenhurst, and Midland all provided proceeds back to our agencies to support our mentoring programs. We have several different businesses throughout Barrie, which I will kind of keep a secret and then invite listeners to visit our website, as well as to cruise around through Barrie and area to find our Big Brothers Big Sisters Turn the Town Teal posters. We have some card stock and different stickers and different ways to get involved and just really celebrate what we're doing.
So how does this campaign this month fit into the broader mission of Big Brothers and Big Sisters?
Yeah, our hope for this, going through Big Brothers Big Sisters Month and using Turn the Town Teal, is really just to celebrate. So lots to celebrate. We have over 100 kids waiting through the region. So ways to connect with other community members who wish to come and join us as mentors, as well as to celebrate the partnerships that we have with our businesses and just people at large, of how such a large group of people, through all of their efforts of time, treasure, and talent, so donations, sitting on our boards, volunteering as our mentors, as well as then the expertise like situations like this, where we have different access to media platforms and legal advice and everything it takes to run and do what we do serving youth, come together as one, and how we can celebrate that throughout the region.
I definitely want to dig into the mentorship a little bit, but before we do that, I want to know what the significance and the symbolism is of teal.
Teal, it comes back to our national color. So I'm sitting here, not that everyone can see, in a teal t-shirt where that's one of our branding colors. So we're really working to try and make it recognizable. It's one of the only brands that has this particular color there. So we like to cast it back, hopefully so that it's some logo recognition and some brand recognition throughout the region. Big Brothers Big Sisters has been around for over 100 years across Canada, 55 years this year in Barrie. So a long-standing relationship with youth, long-standing mentorship and impact through those relationships. And we're just really hoping to be able to leverage that in a fun way.
So obviously people, when they go to these businesses, they can see the color teal and be like, yes, that's Big Brothers Big Sisters right there. That's
exactly.
The impact right away. How do the funds raised, directly support, maybe finding people some matches?
And that's exactly it. All of our dollars come in are community raised. So we are not governmentally supported. We are not supported by our national office. So Barrie is supported 100% by our community, as are Orillia and North Simcoe. So everything that we raise locally goes directly into impacting local youth. We're really hoping to expand that into the regional lens so that way we can take a broader look. Our neighbors in Orillia and Midland are all 25 minutes apart. So it's nice to be able to come together and really connect the youth and the families that we're all connecting, living and working with. And every dollar raised, every mentor that comes in, every new person that even clicks to our website helps join that momentum and that movement. So the more people we can get involved, and everyone does at their own level when they're ready, the better. And that way, the more youth we can serve.
And you mentioned over 100 kids are waiting for mentors. So what do you think, people maybe don't really quite understand about mentorship or becoming a mentor at all?
One of the things I hear ongoing is people think it requires special skill. There's quite an in-depth application and interview process where right from the very first inquiry, if you were to call and ask about mentorship, you'd be connected to our program teams. They would walk you through a very detailed orientation that would show all of the programs available, where sometimes people will come in thinking that it's one program that they are really looking for and finding that it's actually one of the others that works better for them. Along with, a lot of people think that it's such a large time commitment, or that now, they're going to have all these different expectations, where mentorship is just about friendship. So you're literally building a friend with a youth within the community. No special skills involved. If you happen to like skateboarding, chances are we have a youth that likes skateboarding. If you happen to really like movies and crafts, we probably have a youth that likes movies and crafts. And that's where the matches come in. But they're all professionally supported. You're fully trained. We're with you every step of the way, from the beginning of your orientation right through your matching to your youth, along with the entire mentorship, however long you choose to last. The minimum for our community-based is a year. Our in-school mentors is just the duration of the school year. Many people go significantly longer than that. So it shows that once you're in, probably not as hard as you thought it would be, probably a lot more fun. And one of the biggest feedbacks I get from a lot of our bigs is they never realized how much they would get in return. So obviously very generous people and volunteers who are willing to connect with our youth and give their time. They know that they're going to be providing something for those kids that they match with, but I think they're generally surprised with how much they get in return as well.
So aside from the wait, a lot of kids in need of a big, what makes now the best time to become one?
Well, for me personally, September is a great month to change. Lots of new things shifting and happening. I feel like this is a good time of year to be able to start the process, especially if you've been thinking on it for a little while. I feel like September sometimes can be a little bit of a month of settling and creating new schedules. We definitely see that shift in our families, as well as the more we can build our rosters of volunteers, the more we have to draw upon when we have new littles come in. Because our goal as a region and for all Big Brothers Big Sisters agencies is to actually not have a wait list. That would be the perfect situation, where we just had ready and waiting adults who then a little comes in, or the family has the bravery to approach us and say, I think I need support. We are able to go through the training with them, able to get those families and youth onboarded, and then directly put them into the hands of their mentor.
What are some impacts that you've seen from a kid that might be waiting before and after having a big?
Yeah, that's a really amazing one. I have had the blessing of working with a couple of youth directly this summer. We've done quite a large PR campaign thanks to innovative automation. So we're about to roll out an exciting new video. So definitely check out our website and our social medias towards the end of the month to see that. But in that, I've been able to directly impact with the youth and speak to them about their experiences. And mental health has come up as a big one, where often, the youth come in and they're a little anxious, they're a little nervous, they're having a hard time making friends. We forget how much of a struggled childhood and yet young adolescence can be. We all were there once, and yet we quickly forget that, sometimes those problems that they have are real and significant and impact their life at those times. And yet having a steady and stable adult who's able to then offer adult perspective, a different listening ear, it's someone different than mom and dad, someone different than a teacher, in a role that is nothing but just to listen to that youth makes a huge difference.
Is there a story of a child in need that really stands out to you?
I don't know if I could pick one. They're all very different, as all of us are, right? Where the ones that really kind of pull my heartstrings are especially some of our boys, because they've been on the wait list for so long. We tend to see the wait list much longer for boys. There tends to be fewer big brothers that come through. So not that I want to advocate for one over the other, because we definitely need them all. However, our wait list for boys is greater than for girls.
I'm sure you were a big at one point, right? Being so involved with Big Brothers and Big Sisters now. What really inspired you in the first place?
For me, it is the youth. I myself am a single mom of 4. My children are the best thing that I have ever done in my life. I am a youth counselor by trade, so I deeply understand the developmental aspects of children. And then I think that's what's really drawn me, is I know that if we're going to make positive social change, which is very much a part of my own personal mission, the best way to do that is through supporting youth, changing how youth interact with their communities, providing better sense of hope, providing better sense of belonging, belonging. And the long-term results of that is we completely change how our communities function.
I know with this effort, you want to bring a lot more attention to your website so people can learn more. Before we head out, just give people the rundown of the campaign one more time and what they can expect to see on the website.
Absolutely. So our website is barrie.bigbrothersbigsisters.ca. There is a link there for all of our events we do, ways that you can get involved as a volunteer, ways that you can get involved to donate, upcoming events. We are doing throwbacks to our social media, so that's a really great and engaging way to remain active in what is happening throughout the month. We will have the throwbacks for all of the businesses that are there, throwbacks into some of our other sponsorships, more information about the youth that are waiting, more information of ways that you can get involved, as well as then the links to our partners with North Simcoe and Aurelia. So the website and social media is definitely the easiest way to interact, and that way people can kind of come in, take a peek, see what works best for them, follow us, go and visit these supporting businesses, figure out if there's ways that you'd like to get involved more meaningfully and connect to the region as a whole.
Well, Brie, I really appreciate you coming in, and I wish you and the kids that are on this wait list the best of luck going forward.
Thank you so much for having me.
Joined now by three members of the Barrie Junior Sharks, head coach Dwayne Eldridge and a couple of players, May Severn and Kate Stewart. Welcome.
Thank you.
Back again this season after a really successful season last year, Dwayne, and you're off to a roaring start already.
Yeah, I think this team's got a lot of energy and a lot of confidence, and it showed very early in the season in the practices and how hard they work. I'll let them talk a little bit about how well they get together and how well they've gelled right from the beginning, and it's been exciting to watch.
3 wins in the opening weekend on the road, and then a bronze medal in a tournament last weekend.
Yeah, I think winning is something this group just expects now, and I think they're going to do a lot of it.
So, tell me, what's it like, first of all, playing for this guy?
It's pretty awesome. I mean, him as a coach, he cares about you as a player, but also a person, which can kind of be overlooked by other coaches. But I've played for him for 5 years now, so I've had him for quite a bit. I'm not sick of him yet, so it's been awesome.
Well, that's good. I mean, you get an understanding of each other. You get into a comfort zone. You can almost tell what each other's thinking all the time, right?
Yeah.
And you've been with the team 5 years as well?
Yeah, I've been the same amount of time, and I think he definitely cares about us personally as people, which, like Kate said, is sometimes overlooked. And even if he's hard on us, it's for the better looking back. So many little things he's said to me, it all helps you in the future, and you just have to make sure, take out of the tone and just take the message. And he's definitely helped us all and the whole team and the organization.
So gruff one day maybe, but a pat on the back the next?
Yeah.
What's it been like so far getting started this year? A great season last year and very successful so far this year. And as Dwayne said, you expect to win now. What's going to happen when that loss does come?
I think our team has a really good culture and environment, so I think hopefully we'll bounce back pretty quick, just focus on the next game, not dwell on it too much. And I think our team is super fun, likes to keep things light, so that'll definitely help with that.
Having said that, wouldn't it be great to go undefeated?
Yeah.
Hey? Something to brag about, because the two of you, this is your last season with the team, right?
Yeah.
You're heading off to colleges and universities after this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're going to miss this guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Dwayne, they talked about the culture of the team, and you and I have talked about that before. It seems to be the same year after year after year. You've just got a great bunch of people working with you and players playing with you as well.
Yeah, I think we made a commitment. I've had some great mentors that are helping me, and they'll continue to help, who really have focused on the importance of bringing the right people in. Obviously, you want talented players, which these two certainly are, but I think it's just as important, if not more important, how they gel as a team, or how they are as a teammate, and how they are as people. We want them to move on and represent the Sharks organization in a really positive way. And the comments we're getting back already from kids who have moved on, just about how great they are as people and how good they are in the room. And I think we've put an emphasis on that when we've been recruiting. And I think the fact that year over year over year, that dynamic is there. And Kate and May have been kind of lucky in that that's all they've known in their time with the Junior Sharks. And we've talked a lot about what their legacy is. They came in, and now it's their turn to leave it in a better place than when they found it. And I think if we keep doing that, keep bringing the really good people in, we're going to keep getting really, really good results.
Have you heard from former teammates who have moved on and how much they miss you?
Yeah, I've heard from, there was a girl on our team, Ella Lloyd. She went to Northeastern this year. I've been talking to her a bunch. She's like, she loves university, but she misses the team last year. And Riley Scorgi, she's off to Cornell. She stopped by on her way, and I got to talk to her and stuff. It's just, you miss them so much, but you're so, proud of them and how far they're going and stuff, so you wish them the best.
Well, you spend so much time with each other. You get to know each other. It's like losing a best friend when they move on, right?
Like losing someone in your family almost. You become a family throughout the season, not just friends.
This is a 15th season?
It is.
But things are really ramping up, and I think the crowds are starting to get bigger for you, too.
Yeah, we're looking forward. We have our home opener on Sunday, and the association's doing a bunch of promotions. We're trying to get as many young kids out. Our junior kids camp that we had this summer is great for building relationships, connection between our players and the younger organizations. We're working on our Military Day game again. We've got our Cancer Day. I think more and more people are getting exposed. And the truth of the matter is the PWHL has brought so much awareness that now everybody's paying more attention to girls hockey, which I think is great.
How did you guys get involved in hockey? What triggered the interest in the beginning for you?
For me, my dad played hockey growing up, and then I just kind of have always been in a hockey family. My mom loves Boston, my dad loves the Oilers, and then I played boys up until I was around 8 years old, so novice, and my dad was my coach, and he was pretty hard on me and stuff, but it paid off. And then I came to girls, and May's dad was the coach, and it just took off from there, seeing such incredible talent. May was unbelievable as a kid. I don't know about now, but
they like to jab at each other.
No, but I've been playing with May all the way up till now, so it's been around 10 years or something like that. But it's been crazy. So yeah, started in the family, and then you meet more girls who are into the game, and it just took off from there.
How did you get started?
I think I started watching the Leafs on TV, and I was I really want to play hockey, and then it just kind of went from there. But now I think with the Women's Pro League, little girls being able to see women playing professionally, making a career out of it, I think that'll get even more young girls into hockey, which will be awesome, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Is that maybe an end goal for the two of you with the PWHL?
Yes,
100%.
Sure.
And then after that, I hopefully want to coach, whether that's boys or girls, but yeah, we'll see where we go.
So you're taking notes at each practice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not from him, though. The other coaches.
Oh, okay. I think there are going to be some extra laps around the rink for you next practice. All right, and you?
My family just kind of cheers for the Leafs. The playoffs, sometimes we switch,
you
pretty obvious, but we all just try and watch hockey as a family. We're a pretty busy family, so it's nice to watch a game or two together.
Favorite team in the PWHL? Who do you follow the most?
Mine was New York, but
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, that was because of Jesse, and I still do like New York. They have a lot of incredible players, but I think I just follow wherever Jesse goes. And
Jesse is Dwayne's daughter,
yes,
of course. We've spoken
Eldridge.
with her before.
Yeah. And I also really liked Ottawa. I was really close with the assistant coach on that team. He really helped me through my recruitment process and everything, and just cheering him on and seeing how far he went, being in the finals there. So
yeah, same with me. I just kind of follow wherever Jessie goes and try and support whatever team she's on.
Got a long way to go to follow her now, don't you?
Yeah.
Seattle. So how's she doing, by the way? Let's get an update on her.
Good. She's been in Toronto training all summer. She came up, she ran a couple of practices and worked at our junior Sharks camp. She's excited. They leave the end of October. Training camp starts November the 7th. I think they're getting anxious. Everybody else is on the ice. Everybody's playing games, and they're not there, but they're ready to go now. So we're excited to see where the next.
Your home opener is this Sunday?
Sunday, 4 o'clock at East Bayfield against London.
Okay, admission is free, but bring something for the food bank because they're in dire need of everything, and they've got a big food drive coming up in October as well. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Big doings this weekend at 5 Points Theatre downtown. Game On, After Dark returns. A chance to meet and mingle with local gamers and then some. Our Ian McLennan finds out more from co-host Louise Jackson and Canadian rapper Infinite.
How long have you been running this?
This is our second year being a part of it, so I'm not sure how long the city's done it. So this is the After Dark event. It's actually a top 100 festival in Ontario.
It's very community focused. It's for 19 and over. It's been a success story. What's the attraction for people?
I think it brings people together. One thing I noticed last year that I didn't was how inclusive gaming is. And I think Infinite might be able to tell you what that brought together last year for us.
Yeah, last year, Game On After Dark, it actually turned out to be real successful. They did a Street Fighter tournament, and it turned out very well. It brought us to a special point in our careers because we actually met a special young man named, we call him Mr. Joe. And Mr. Joe had basically dreams to attend a Street Fighter tournament in Las Vegas, which is the biggest gaming tournament in the world apart from Japan. And the reason why it was special, it was because Mr. Joe has a syndrome, a special,
It's called Vactral syndrome.
A Vactral syndrome. And you have to have 3 of the letters, of the 7 letters in order to have that syndrome.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so.
And he has all 7.
Really? Okay, so with the game, what specific, if somebody's saying, hey, I might want to go out on that night, what are you going to offer me? What's for me to play? What am I going to do?
So there's a DJ, there's obviously drinks and food and vendors, and it's just a really fun, inclusive night. And I think, Infinite, you want to tell them what the game is this year?
This year's feature is Call of Duty Warzone. And Warzone is actually really popular, and I mean, a lot of people are excited about Warzone. So yeah, that's this year's feature.
Are you any good at it?
You know what? I am actually pretty good at it.
Okay.
But I try to stay away from it because it is kind of addictive. You know what I mean? So, I mean, those who play Warzone know what it is. They know what it is.
Do you game, Louise?
I used to.
Yeah.
I used to play games and grew up doing all of that stuff. I think, what was the one? Oh, was it Dune? Anyway, it was one of those first shooter games on my computer where I had to, hit the buttons and reboot the DOS system. I think I just gave my age away.
Now, you've also got Barrie's Ultimate Gamer Tournament too, and how do you qualify for that, or what are the sort of the rules?
So we're working with We Got Game. So We Got Game brings in the consoles and sets it all up. They also bring High Energy. So it's an elimination style tournament. And they start in groups, and then that gets smaller and smaller. And then there's a final platform stage where the 2 final gamers kind of get to battle head to head. And I think one of the biggest things I saw was the bond of the community and the people that came out and the diversity of the group and the inclusiveness. It was really, really special to be a part of. And Dave from We Got Game, he brings High Energy, the organizers of it from the city of Barrie. It's a really good event. We want to see it grow this year.
And you got the new Nintendo Switch 2 system that everybody's eager to try. Have you had a chance yet, or?
I've tried it once, but I'm not really. I try to stay away from the gaming because I got too much going on I got too much in my bag. I got to focus on. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, let me ask you about that because gaming sometimes gets the bad sort of rap too because yes, as you mentioned it can be addictive, but it can also develop relationships and online friendships, and so there's a balance there, or.
There has to be a balance. I actually just read an article online that there's actually rehab centers for gaming now because it is so addictive. So I try to, in my family with my kids, make that time where you have to take a break, you have to go outside, go for a walk. But again, when you look at Mr. Joe, who helped us with this, he met a blind gamer, blind warrior Sven, online. And now when new things drop in Street Fighter, Joe coaches Sven on what's happening. And where's Sven from? Finland or?
It's overseas. It's definitely overseas.
Yeah, and they went to Evo together. So that's just, those gaming communities and relationships are great, but also we have to be careful with who they are talking to online.
This is a fun night, right? This is all about, as you said, about community and getting together.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
chilling.
And I just want to say, yes, it can be very addictive and take your time away from doing what you need to be doing or focused on. But a lot of people actually have a career and make money off of gaming. And I salute those guys that actually found their way into that and that are making a living off of playing video games.
And I've heard of young people who've, really into gaming and their parents let them, there is a career opportunities too. And maybe not to discourage, but ask your teenager or somebody maybe in their early 20s, tell me what it's about. What are you aiming for?
And that's what I think. It's a good point. Give them a goal. Where they stream on Twitch, right? Is that one of the?
They stream on Twitch.
Yep.
They do. Yeah, they do.
And you have some of the Infinite's done, because being the voice of Street Fighter 3, he's done interviews with some of these high-level gamers that are, they get the product first. They get to try it first. They want the feedback from the gaming companies.
And this is taking point at 5 Points Theater,
Yes.
September 20th.
September 20th, after dark, 19 plus. It's a really fun event. We love the music, the DJ. We're excited now because it's year 2 for us. So now we know a little more what to expect. We get to co-host it. We get
That's
to...
right. And I'm from Toronto, so I mean, being up here in Barrie, I'd love to support the city of Barrie.
Nice.
And I love the welcoming feeling and the
Is
love
this
that
your
they give
first?
me.
Is this your first game on After Dark?
No, I did the last
You
one
did
with
last one, yeah.
Louise.
What were your expectations going in the first year, and what you took away going? Maybe, I didn't expect that. That's amazing. Just
The first, the expectations?
yeah. Like, what were your thoughts? Like, I'm not sure how this is going to fly, and what did you take away?
I mean, we were the hosts, so I mean, it was actually in our hands of how it was going to run that night and the tone that we set. So, I mean, I was pretty confident in how we were going to set the tone for these guys when we walked out. So it was pretty dope. It was pretty good.
And we felt like a really good feeling, the connection of seeing the people that attend. And again, welcoming Infinite into my hometown and showing him everything that Barrie has to offer. This city puts in a lot of work with it. Like I said, it has been recognized as festivals and events, top 100 event in Ontario.
In Ontario, yeah.
Yeah.
Go Barrie.
Yeah. And gaming is big. There's big money in gaming. It's one of the highest spends per person in tourism and things like that when you look at it. So it draws a lot of people because they like to spend on food and games and hotels when they travel. So
And the event is free too, right?
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
there a cutoff limit, or how do people, is there an online site they can go to and get more info?
Yeah, there's an online site they can go to. They can register as well. And last year, as some people came and go, right, there was a lineup so they could get in and go.
Yeah.
So you want to get there early. You want to be there early to not miss out. But that's another thing that's great about it. It is a free event and it's fun. And
Yeah.
we're there. So, hey.
And if you got
It's gonna be
skills,
great, yeah.
bring your skills to the table. You know what I'm saying? You still got time, September the 20th.
And that's our program for this week. Thanks to Ian and Julius for their input, to Matt Ladder for his technical expertise, and to you for listening. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe to What Barrie's Talking About, rate it, review it. You can also keep up with What Barrie's Talking About on Blue Sky and X at Barrie 360, on our website, barrie360.com, and there's our daily Kickstart podcast available from any streaming service and on our website. I'm Dan Blakeley. Hope you'll join us again next week.